When the new Hyundai Santa Fe launched, it brought a whole lot of spunk and changes to an already popular three-row large SUV. And as if it couldn't get any more interesting, there are now 2 off-road adventure packs available for the hybrid variants, which might be exactly what this at times polarizing design needs to make it the perfect all-rounder for the family hauling. Do the rugged editions hit the mark? Stay watching to find out. There are 3 Santa Fe grades, with the option between a petrol or a hybrid powertrain depending on the model you select. We're in the flagship Calligraphy Hybrid 7-seater this week, and it's been fitted with the new XRT Peak option pack, which adds an extra $9,990 to the overall price tag. Coupled with the brown Napa leather upholstery and the all-weather boot liner that this test model has, that makes this well over 90 grand drive away. Ordinarily, the Santa Fe would compete against the likes of the Toyota Kluger and Mazda CX-80, but with the rugged outfit and the high price point, this is more in line to rival the Toyota Prado and Ford Everest. But it does fall short on the four-wheel drive capabilities and towing capabilities of those models, and some may find it very difficult to justify the price tag. But for me, this may be the model that actually elevates the brand and shifts it away from any commentary like, oh, it's just a Hyundai, because it's really bloody nice. The Calligraphy Hybrid is extremely well specified, but the XRT Peak package doesn't add anything to the internals. So let's focus on what it does give you. But if you're after the full details, check out my full review at carsguide.com.au. The XRT Peak Pack gives you 17-inch off-road tyres with black alloy accents, mud flaps and underbody skid plate, and an extra 30mm ground clearance to non-XRT models. You also get weather shields, roof racks, roof platform and side steps. The new Santa Fe is on the boxy side when it comes to design, and that's going to polarize some. But the XRT editions, which are all black, really balance out the boxiness overall to the point where you don't notice it as much. To me, this looks like a mean and capable looking family SUV. The Calligraphy model boasts a total knockout of a cabin. It is gorgeous in here, with supple Napa leather upholstery and functional but beautiful interfaces. Even the faux wood paneling looks good. It's sumptuous and honestly just looks like the cabin of a car twice its price point. Because of the hybrid powertrain, the transmission tunnel is flat, and that means that middle rowers get extra legroom. The E-shifter is hosted on the steering wheel column, which also opens up your storage options in the center console. Overall, this cabin is good looking and practical, and that's a hard combo to get right. There's heaps of space in this cabin, but the black headliner keeps things feeling warm and inviting. And as you'd expect, this top model gets lots of features. The front seats are very comfortable with their heat and ventilation functions, but there's also a recline feature, which I found very comfortable being a passenger on a longer trip. The storage in here is people mover good, and you are spoiled for choice. You've got 2 glove boxes and a shelf in front of the passenger, a really big middle console, and lots of options in the center console, including a handy shelf that easily fits a handbag. I really love practical features, especially in a family car, and this one has lots of them, like the extendable sun visors, digital rear view mirror, and you also get seat controls on the driver's side, so you don't have to leave your seat if you need to do something on the passenger side. The dual 12.3-inch screens look great, and the touchscreen multimedia system is responsive and easy to operate. You also get wired and wireless functionality for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and the CarPlay has been simple to use this week. This system has built-in satellite navigation where the directions are pulled into your head-up display and digital instrument panel. You also get really good charging options in this car, but up front you get 2 USB-C ports and a 12-volt socket, as well as 2 wireless charging pads, which is really nice for the passenger because they also feel like it's premium on their end. The middle row has a lot of space and it's an easy row to get in and out of. The doors are on the heavier side, but my 8-year-old didn't have any problems with them, which is great. The overall comfort is excellent with well-padded seats and a host of amenities. The Calligraphy model does have the option though to switch out to 6 seats, which gets rid of the bench seat and adds 2 captain's chairs in this row, which might be good if you have teenagers or you regularly travel with your in-laws. You get a stack of amenities and storage back here. Some of the highlights includes a retractable storage bin in the center console, as well as drink bottle holders that are handily positioned on the door frames themselves. You get directional air vents and 2 USB-C ports. Surprisingly, you do miss out on climate control back here, but you get outboard heated seats and retractable sunblinds, so it's not too bad. In the middle row, you get 3 top tether anchor points. The middle seat belt does sit a little bit too far over on this side, so you can feasibly get 3 child seats back here, but I wouldn't want them to be too wide. And a special note for any parents out there, this is the darkest cabin I've been in, with the sun blinds, the black headliner, and the darkly tinted weather shields. If you were to put on the happy song, peace and quiet is all but guaranteed. The third row does offer enough room to be comfortable for an adult. Maybe not on a long trip, but it's okay back here. The amenities are pretty good. You get fan control, directional air vents, 2 USB-C ports, as well as 4 drink bottle holders. The real winning feature back here though are the 2 extra top tether points. So theoretically you can get 5 child seats in this car. I would be installing a booster seat where a kid can actually do up their own seatbelt, because no parent wants to climb into a third row to do up a seatbelt. The boot is pretty practical with its 642 litres of available storage when the third row is stored. It offers a level loading space, and with this added all-weather liner, it means you get a practical spot to put away wet gear as well. Underneath the car is a full-size spare tyre, and underneath the little storage house is the jack. And as always, it's always practical to have a power tailgate. All hybrid models share the same 1.6 litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol hybrid powertrain that produces up to 172 kilowatts of power and 367 newton-meters of torque. The Calligraphy XRT Peak pairs that with a 6-speed automatic transmission and is an all-wheel drive with 3 terrain modes: mud, sand and snow. So while not a proper 4-wheel drive, it does offer families who like to camp or hit the odd fire trail the option of doing so. Compared to its rivals though, it does have a relatively low brake to towing capacity of only 1,650 kilos. The Calligraphy has a 67 litre fuel tank and an official combined fuel cycle usage of 5.6 litres per 100 kilometres, giving you a theoretical driving range of up to 1,196 kilometres, which is pretty awesome for such a massive family SUV. I have definitely put this through its paces this week. I've done long open roading, city driving, and a long winding mountain hike. And I've managed to get a real world usage of 7.3 litres per 100 kilometres, which I think is an excellent result, especially given what I've put it through. It's not going to be a surprise, but the Calligraphy XRT Peak model has proven itself the superior choice compared to its base model sibling that I drove not long ago. The all-wheel drive drivetrain and the off-road tyres also offer a smoother and quieter ride, and in general this is just far more sure of itself on the road. The power delivery is prompt, pickup is great, and it never feels like it lumbers when you're in the city or going up hills. In fact, it feels like a much smaller car than what it is. The steering isn't stiff but offers responsive handling, so much so that you do feel quite agile in this car, and it handles hairpin turns beautifully. The chunkier tyres also smooth out the worst of the bumps, which means that the overall ride quality is really good. The hybrid mode is most noticeable when you first turn the car on because it starts in EV mode, and it typically stays in this mode while you're traveling at lower speeds or just cruising on the highway, which makes the cabin very quiet. Visibility on a whole is pretty good because of the large windows, but these darkly tinted weather shields make the pillars appear wider than what they are. And I did notice that I was bobbing and weaving my head around them a lot when I was heading downhill towards an intersection or a roundabout. What I like most about this car though is that it never feels big to drive, and that translates to a very easy parking experience overall, especially when you consider that you get a top-notch 360-degree view camera system and front and rear parking sensors in this. It really takes all the puff out of parking it. The Santa Fe has a maximum 5-star ANCAP safety rating from testing done in 2024 and features 8 airbags, including a front center airbag and curtain airbags that extend to the third row. Some safety highlights include the Safe Exit Assist and the blind spot view monitor, which pops a video feed of your blind spot onto your dash. Some of the safety tech is a little bit intrusive for daily driving, but if your music's loud enough, you won't notice it. But if you're after the full safety details, check out my full review at carsguide.com.au. Hyundai offers the Santa Fe with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, but a lot of its rivals are being offered with 7-year unlimited kilometre warranties at the moment. You can pre-purchase a 3, 4 or 5-year servicing pack, and the 5-year pack averages $481 per service, which is quite competitive for the class. Servicing intervals are a little bit annoying at every 10,000 kilometres or 12 months, whichever occurs first. I didn't go into this review thinking that the Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy would be as good as what it is, but the XRT Peak option pack really enhances everything that's right about this car and gives adventuring families more capabilities. The cabin is very practical and offers all the plush comforts you'd expect for a top model. So while it is on the expensive side, it more than earns its premium status, and that's why it gets the score that's on your screen now. If you're after more details, check out the full review at carsguide.com.au, and I'll see you next week.